Welcome to CSN The Network Podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my amazing co-host, Dre Nazario and Malik Hampton. How are y'all doing this morning?
Doing good, man. Enjoying the weekend. How everybody doing today?
Y'all know me, blessed and highly favored. Good day to pod, great day to be here. All of that. How you feeling, brother?
Y'all know the vibes, as you would say, blessed and highly favored. Definitely doing better now that I'm talking to you two. Well, you three. We got a legend with us today. I call him the White Mamba. You know what I'm saying? Man, this guy's been really near and dear to me. Real quick, not to get real deep on y'all, but we work together. The trust he has shown in me, the faith he's shown in me, it's just really appreciated. We've grown closer over the years. Like I said before we hopped on, Hunter's been down to interview with the network since before we even started the pod. And at the end of August, it'll be 3 years for us, y'all. So this was almost 3 years ago where he committed to joining the network before we dropped the episode, before we did anything. He didn't know how the show would look, anything. And he was always willing to join us. So, state champion, legend, back-to-back Kanawha Valley Coach of the Year, youngin, one of the youngest coaches. First, he just informed me he's the first coach to win back-to-back Kanawha Valley Coach of the Year since Coach Dawson. Salute to our old coach, which is big because he's young. He's not in his 30s like Dre and I. He's young, you know what I'm saying? The man, the myth, the legend, the head coach of Charleston Catholic High School, Coach Hunter Mose. What's up, Coach?
What's going on, man? Appreciate y'all having me, and definitely feel like I'm big time now. I'll be checking out the pod, checking out some of the guests y'all have, and it's crazy to be on here. Definitely a lot of respect for all three of y'all, and appreciate y'all having me.
Appreciate you, my brother, man.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you. And congratulations on all your success.
Congrats, for sure.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, y'all can't see it, but the new banner is in the background, man, just right here. So we had to make sure we caught that real quick, man. Salute to the
There's
staff.
a lot of banners up there.
Oh yeah.
Shout out my baseball guys. Just got one yesterday too, so that's why I had to rock the baseball hat for them. So just got one of baseball.
That's the baseball team.
Yeah.
Man. But with that said, Coach, let's hop right into it. First question I have for you, I grew up playing with you, you know what I mean? We all grew up playing in the South Charleston League. I know you and Malik played. We played middle school, high school. So I want to take it back, similar to myself. And I always respected you. I've told you this before in private, but I've always respected the relationship that you have with your mom because it reminds me of what I have with my mom, what Dree has with her mom, what Malik has with his mom. You could just tell y'all real close.
Yeah.
So, what were some of your biggest influences growing up? Just, not only athletically, but mentally as a person as well.
Yeah, definitely start with my parents for sure. Mom and dad were always a huge part. I mean, it was tough because they were split, but both of them did their thing very well. I thought they did a good job raising me and just trying to teach me. As a kid, I was a kid. I was a hothead. I hated losing. I always sometimes had a bad attitude, and they just keep me on the right path and just tell me how to do things the right way. So, still real close with my mom. That's one of my biggest things that I wish my dad was still here to watch me coach. But that's a big inspiration is just to try to be successful for him and make him proud. So, but yeah, me and my mom still real close. They got me after the state tournament. They got me on the camera. Some people saw it. I was talking to her on the phone and getting emotional, and they got me.
It's a deep photo.
Yeah, it's cool looking back. I guess it's a good memory to have. But yeah, just growing up, I had them. Just the people I kind of was around. My mom had to work a lot on the weekend, so a lot of people don't know, like Devin and Rashad, who I coach with. Like, I mean, they're those parents was taking me to games. They were taking me, and I had some travel soccer friends that was taking me to soccer. So it takes a village, man. It wasn't, my mom couldn't do it all by herself, and so other people really had to step up so I could go out of town and play on the weekends, things like that. So Had a lot of people help me growing up for sure.
Shot and dead, man. Hey, man, it was so funny. Like, I used to, man, growing up, Rashad Kincaid, his assistant coach, was like bro, he was damn near like an only kid. He had a sister, you know what I'm saying? But it used to be so funny because I used to want to go over Rashad's house all the time because he had all the games for the system and whatnot. You know, like he had all the games.
Yeah.
You know, he always used to want to come to the Moore, bruh, because we used to have a little hoop, and we used to be out there rocking on the little hoop, bruh. Like he always wanted to do that. It used to be so funny. I'd be like, bruh, like you got all the games. Like we going to your house, and he'd be like, man, I'm trying to play on the little rim. I'm like, we do this every day, bro. This is boring. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shot and Dev, man. But I guess my question is to start off, did you play any other sports, growing up, besides basketball and soccer?
Yeah, I played baseball too. So baseball was kind of that third thing. That's what my dad played. My dad played college baseball. Started at UC for like a semester or two, then went to state and played at state. So I played baseball too growing up. But it just got to the point. I think it was around sixth, seventh grade. It was like, all right, 3 sports. It's getting a bit much because I was playing travel soccer. I was trying to play some AAU still and basketball. So kind of just stuck with soccer and basketball. I enjoyed baseball too, but probably was a little better at soccer and basketball. Wasn't hitting the ball that great, but I could play in the field pretty, like okay, I guess. So did that. I don't think I really played. I mean, maybe just messing around. We played other stuff, but not really organized. I didn't really play anything else.
For me, I'm gonna take it off sports just for a second, and go a little personal. Um, what was it like, or do you consider yourself like an ally for the Black community? Like you grew up, we all grew up around each other
Yeah.
in the community. Just tell me what it was like for you. Like you said, a lot of your safe haven were, you know.
If you was the only white boy out there a lot of
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
real,
Just,
we all come from the same place.
right.
Nah, I, I
So,
mean, yeah, I appreciate that question, and I don't really think I called myself an ally. I really even thought about that until probably around that 2020 when things were really going on in 2020. To be honest with you, and then I really realized like maybe how other I just never. When you grow up, it just you don't see it like that, right? You're not around people that are judging people. I'm just around so many different types of people. And I think in college, it also helped me because I was one of two Americans on the soccer team, right? I went to WVU Tech. And so I'm not even around just around Black people. I'm around people from other countries. I'm around Spanish guys. I'm around people speaking different languages now. So, like, I really take pride in trying to be as diverse as I possibly can around my friend group, around people that I know. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's plenty of white guys that I'm friends with too. But when you grow up with guys like Shad and Dev, like you just don't, you're not thinking that way. But as I got older, I started to realize, hey, like sometimes I do got to step up and be that person. Sometimes your actions can speak louder than words too.
100%.
So like you don't have to I don't need to go out and make a Facebook post or a tweet. I just need to be myself. And when I'm myself, I think other people see that. I think they know who I am, what I believe in, and kind of how I want to move. And so yeah, I appreciate that question. Definitely didn't start thinking of just it wasn't even a thought growing up, but more towards the 2020 stuff, started really like realizing who I was and kind of how I wanted to see myself and whatnot. So, but I think that stuff helps you, man. Like I try to explain this to some other white people. Have you ever been the only white guy in the room? Like, can you imagine, like, I'm here with Rashad, and Rashad's the only black guy in the room. Like, have you imagined that? Like, like, I don't think some people realize the feeling until you get put in that situation. So, it's definitely a good question, but yeah.
Nah, y'all know he been valid. You know what I mean? He definitely welcome to all cookouts. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but my question for you, because of course I knew you played baseball. You know what I mean? It was always nice. I just remember you as a kid, bro. Because Hunter's a couple years younger than myself. Want to say he's a year younger than Malik. So, and Malik is a year after Dre and I. So I just remember like him and Biddy Ball, red hair, just flying. You know what I'm saying? Just flowing everywhere. What sport do you feel you were most natural at? You know, being a two-star athlete. We're gonna indulge in this later. You know, you played both sports in college, but just what do you feel was your more natural sport?
Yeah. So the way I kind of explained it, and I realized this in college, was when I played soccer, they would say my technique wasn't that great. I was just really athletic. But when I played basketball, they would say, well, his technique's good, but he's just not very athletic. So it was like a complete flip. So I guess when you say the word natural, I guess you could say soccer in a way, because it was natural. Like the technique as a goalkeeper might not have been like some of the Spanish guys or the Australian guys, but I would find a way to make the save, and I had really good hands. They used to compliment me on, like, just if the ball was gonna touch my hand, I was probably gonna hold on to it. So naturally, soccer came easy for some reason. Um, Basketball wasn't as natural, but I think mentally I saw the game at a high level, and that's what helped me, because physically I wasn't blowing by everybody. I wasn't playing above the rims, things like that. So just understanding plays and footwork. But I think playing goalie and playing basketball really helped me. It's a lot of reaction, it's a lot of footwork. It just translated well. So naturally, I was probably a little better at soccer, but basketball mentally came easy to me.
My next question is, I only grew up playing AAU basketball, and I know there's a bunch of AAU, sports out there. Is AAU soccer and AAU basketball comparable? And which one did you like more, growing up?
I get that question a lot, is like, which sport did I like more, like, still to this day or growing up? And I always had the same answer, man. It's just they were both the same for me. They really were. I never really favored one more than the other. I also found it was a nice break. Like, you would play basketball for a long time, and then you get a little bit of break. Now it's soccer season. Then you play soccer, and then you get a little break from soccer, and you go back to basketball. So I think it was a good balance for me. It is somewhat the same. I think basketball now has, like, you know, the Nike and the Adidas, and I don't think I was, if that was a thing when I was playing, I was nowhere close to that. But there was different divisions, some tournaments. Sometimes you playing in the gold bracket or the silver bracket, so it was a lot. It was similar for sure. But I mean, you get memories from both, man. You know how fun it used to be just to travel, staying in the hotel with all the guys, and just going out to eat, stuff like that. So I got a lot of memories from both of those, playing travel soccer and some AAU too.
Hunter was a bomber,
Oh yeah,
at one point,
the
so shout
Bombers,
out to the
man.
bomber.
Yep. Shout out to the Bombers. Shout out to
Okay.
Coach L, man. 5 and 55s.
His son just graduated from high school, his youngest
Yeah.
one. I just seen on Facebook.
Coach L. And as soon as I started coaching, he's like, "Get him in shape. Get him in shape." All he said, "Get him in shape." Uh,
Yeah. Um, Talk to us a little bit about when you actually started taking sports seriously, and when you realized that you had an opportunity to play post high school.
When I don't know when I knew I was gonna play post high school. I think I took sports seriously, like, just growing up, and then I was just very competitive, and, I think my mom knew to keep me busy. I was the only child and whatnot, so keep me busy so I'm not just sitting around, but I thought I was pretty good in soccer. Obviously, soccer in West Virginia wasn't huge. It's getting bigger, but it wasn't huge. Um, I remember there was a time where I was getting some of those camp invite maybe, but it was like, okay, you pay to go to the camps and you get to play. So like that's different than someone like saying, "Hey, come to school. We want to see you, like just you." Um, and I kind of got to a point where like, man, ain't nobody recruiting me. Like, what? I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm making these saves. Like I'm doing what I do. Like I'm training with a trainer on the side. Um, and then finally, my senior year, the school started rolling around. We not that old, but we didn't have film like they have film now. Like the film they got now is crazy. Like I couldn't imagine like I don't have a high school highlight tape. Like can that would have helped me so much just to been able to send that out and do stuff like that. Um, so it was honestly, it probably wasn't till I think I always knew I wanted to play college, but it probably wasn't until my senior year of high school till I really was like, okay, I'm really am going to go play somewhere. Um, Soccer, I had multiple offers, but Tech was the only offer that I had for a scholarship, and that was all because of Rashad Kincaid. Like Coach Williams came to watch him, and then he saw me playing, and he was like, started recruiting me from coming to watch Rashad. So that's something I tell the guys all the time. Like, don't be afraid to play with good players. Don't be jealous of them either. Like, they're if Rashad's bringing a college coach into the gym, that just giving me an opportunity to play in front of a college coach. So, um, probably wasn't until my senior year of high school though that I really knew I was going to try to play at the next level.
Speaking of West Virginia Tech, enlighten us on what that experience was like, playing at West Virginia Tech. Now, for our listeners, he went to the old West Virginia Tech that was in Montgomery,
Yeah,
West Virginia, not in Beckley, West Virginia.
yeah,
Okay, so that's a school that you're gonna
Hold on.
commute to.
They changed it. They
Yeah,
changed.
yeah. I
yeah,
was the last graduating class in Montgomery, and they moved the campus to Beckley.
Oh, I've been gone for a long time. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah. It just happened though, Dre. It hasn't been too long, but Hunter's extremely humble. But Hunter was super nice in basketball, of course, but he was also super nice in soccer. So much so that he had opportunity to play professionally after school. But just real quick, just to reiterate, enlighten us, please, on what your experience was like playing and going to West Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so Tech was I mean, I love that time there and Montgomery. There was definitely times I was living in Montgomery. I was like, man, I don't like this place. Like, I gotta get out of here. I mean, there's not anything to do, but looking back, it was good for me. I'm not really the type of guy that would probably done well at a bigger school. I don't really party and stuff either. So, um, it really just fit in well for me. Smaller classroom, just I was so young going into it. I was close enough to home to where I could go home if I needed to, but I was still far enough away that I was kind of staying on my own. So it was a really good time, and like I mentioned earlier, I got to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different places. Kind of opened my mind up like crazy because you have people coming in from all these different countries. You just learn different things, learn different experiences. People see things different ways. So was a really good time. It was it was a grind, man. It was a grind. It was a lot of workouts, a lot of late night just studying, just trying to get that degree like everybody else. But I really did enjoy it though, so can't really complain. Had a good time at Tech.
Man, I have a real quick leak before you go. I have a follow-up question to that because I want to know what about that experience that you had at Tech and you coached briefly at our alma mater at South Charleston High School as an
Mhm.
assistant coach. So what experiences that you had at West Virginia Tech and coaching at South Charleston High School that led you to say, hey, okay, I really want to make this a career. I want to be a head coach. I really love investing in these kids and developing them. Like, what transpired during those experiences that incited you to want to become a head coach?
Yeah, I think I wanted to coach since I was even younger. Like even when I was in high school, Me, Shad, and Dev used to kind of say it like how fun it would be, try to coach our own team, run these plays. We were thinking all X's and O's at the time. Coaching is not, it's like 80% personalities. Like it's not really too much X's and O's. I mean, it is, but it's mainly can you control personalities and whatnot. But so I always wanted to coach. Getting into college athletics is a different level. Like I don't care if you're Division 1 down to, I mean, even a D3 school, they're gonna take it seriously, and the detail was it was crazy. Like if the meeting was at 8, if you're not in a seat by 7:59, like you're done. Like you that might mess your whole year up. You might not because they have so many different guys that can play. They don't need you. They want you, but they don't need you. My first soccer coach, man, you had to bring a pen to every meeting. If you didn't bring a pen, like it added like a sprint up the hill for the team, like little stuff like that. It really got me into this routine and this detailed routine of just understanding to be efficient, do things like that. Our schedule was crazy. Preseason's crazy. It just took me to another level of soccer and basketball. I learned a lot basketball wise, a lot of the drills I run, a lot of the defensive schemes, just certain plays I learned from playing in college. So that really made me want to get into coaching, and I got lucky enough that Coach Herb let me hop on as like a 21-year-old as assistant coach, and then I think from that experience being an assistant coach, I really was like, nah, I really want to be a head coach. Like I have a vision of how I wanted to run things, and just got lucky enough to get this opportunity here at Charleston Catholic. So you gotta get a little lucky for sure, and I've been very lucky.
That was actually going to be my question. But follow-up question for that is who's some of your coaching inspirations, man? Who taught you the ropes about the coaching,
Yeah.
who inspired you to want to get into it outside of yourself?
Yeah. Had a lot of coaches growing up um, that really just I might not have known it because I was so young, but I look back on it and realize like they did teach me a lot. Like I mentioned, Coach L and those guys and the intensity they used to bring. Um, I think that helped me get comfortable being intense and learning how to compete. Um, I had that competitive nature. I didn't know how to use it really. How to bring that fire out, and they kind of got that out of me. So Coach L and but JD, man, JD Lambert, he and I got to coach with JD. Was our assistant coach in middle school. I feel like JD was really broke the game down, and then just having him on the sidelines for a couple years to help me grow up. I remember we were sitting right over there, and he asked me one time, like, "How do you want to be remembered?" Like, man, what JD? What are you talking about, man? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what? How do you want to be remembered? And he just like he's like, man, like everyone's watching you. Like you're gonna dictate like your attitude, like your personality, how you're talking to people, like on and off the court, like all that stuff matters. So he was coaching me even when I was the head coach and he was assistant coach. He was still I mean, he's still coaching me to this day. I mean, obviously I can go back to my dad, right? Like my dad was my first coach, so he was coaching me. He would always be picking on me. We'd go to the wad. I'd tell him I was tired because we were doing left hand layups for an hour. He's like, "What are you tired for?" Just little stuff like he's coaching me hard. And then probably in college, man, Bob Williams was my coach at Tech. That's the only guy that said, "Hey, Hunter Moles can play college basketball." So obviously, I got a lot of respect for him. And he saw the role player in me. He told me one time, like, I don't just recruit um, like the main guys. I recruit role players, and that's what I was in basketball. I was just a role player. So he saw that I could have a role in the team and do the little things. And then my first soccer coach, man, that dude was so detailed. He was intense too. He was real intense, Luis Cortel. So a lot of people have played into that coaching aspect, and then obviously just some professionals Like I grew up watching Kobe and Phil Jackson and them. So try to pick stuff from the professionals. Also, I was a big fan of this year in the college game. Like a lot of the Final Four coaches started out as high school coaches. Um, so you can't let people tell me I'm not going to be the next Laker coach. I'm gonna tell them they crazy. Like if that's my goal, that's my goal. Like I'm not gonna let someone tell me. Like I was 23 when I got the job here. No one thought I was going to do that. So you just got to believe in yourself and keep going. So I look up to a lot of coaches for real. Try to be a sponge. I don't know everything.
Shout out to JD, man.
Yeah.
Word, man. Love you, JD. Love you, coach.
Talk to us a little bit about because I tried the coaching thing myself when I first got out of college here in North Carolina, and I'm sure it's pretty similar. But just talk to us about like the sacrifices that you have to make
Yeah.
as a coach, especially at the high school level. There's not a lot of money in it, but just talk to us a little bit about how passionate you have to be to actually uh, be a well sustained from a coaching level.
Yeah, Dre, that's a great question, which I don't think people realize that. I do not think people realize the commitment that it takes. Um, you're not doing this for the money. You're making a couple $1,000s and that's it. And I'm probably spending that on gas money or buying a T-shirt for the team or buying my own sweatsuit. Um, the commitment is kind of crazy. I think some people don't really understand why I do it. Um, around New Year's and everyone's going out, we got practice the next day. And it's just weird. They're like, why don't you just cancel? Like, why don't you just not have practice? And like this, you don't understand what we're trying to do here. Like, we try to run it like a college program, and you get a couple months off, but in the summer you're working, you're in the weight room, preseason conditioning. You get the season, you get a month off. You go support your guys in baseball. You support them playing soccer, but you're just constantly working. Like you can't just show up November 18th when practice starts and then March whenever you lose. Okay, I'll see you next November. You're not doing it right if you're doing it that way. It's a year-long process. I think it was last weekend. Um, I'm studying Oakland. I don't know if you remember they beat Kentucky this year playing a zone. They have a 1-1-3 zone I haven't seen, and I bought a video for $40, and it's their coach breaking down their zone. And so, because I'm looking at my team next year, and we don't have great on-ball defenders that I know of right now, unless some guys are really putting in some work. So, and I'm I'm putting $40 into watching these videos, trying to figure out, hey, can we run this zone? So that that's a great question. I put my whole life into this thing. Put it that way.
Man, we know coaching is the closest thing to playing. But tell us what it's like to coach at a historic program such as Charleston Catholic. They have had basketball titles previously, before you became the head coach. They've won it in baseball. They're great in soccer. They just won it this past year, as you alluded to earlier, in baseball. Salute to the baseball team here at Charleston Catholic. But tell us what it's like, coaching here at this historic program.
Yeah, it's amazing. You see the background with some of the banners. I mean, it's a winning culture, and it just makes you wanna be great. I think some people think not that their opinion really matters or whatnot, but because it's a smaller school, like it might not mean as much to some people. Which that's always kind of been funny to me. But I went to a smaller college too and whatnot, so I kind of moved past that stuff. But and they also think all we do is recruit, but we also don't really get to do that either. But that's a different topic. But um, guys like Bo Keene, Coach McClanahan, Nick George, just to name a few, really they built this thing, and we're just trying to keep it going. We're just trying to keep, we want to be in the state tournament every year. We want to win games. We don't want to lose at home, and we just want to represent as well as we can. I've been really lucky though, not only to get the job, but look at the players I've had. I mean, um, doesn't matter if I was Phil Jackson or not very good coach or whoever I was. some of the players and teams I've had my first 5 years has been crazy to think about. I've had 3 guys now play college basketball, going to play college basketball, and a lot of college baseball players that played high school basketball, and just been blessed, man. I walk into the facility every day and go back to my office and just thankful, man. Just real thankful. Not everybody gets the opportunity so young. So I just try to do the best I can. And like Drew was just saying, the commitment that makes me want to be committed. I want to be around winning culture. Um, it's bigger than basketball. It's bigger than winning here. Like academics comes first 1,000%. But people want to win. They want to win. They want to put banners up, and that's the type of people I want to be around.
A lot of banners, man.
Y'all see it.
Did you have any pushback? Well, okay, so I'll start the question, or start this question with a statement, bro. Like, the city watched what you did with Shad, Dev, and JD. You know how you built your staff, bro.
Mhm.
And like, I just want you to know. I mean, I'm sure you know. Everybody probably tells you, bro, but like, that was like a big move for everybody, bro. Like everybody respected that, like on all levels, you know,
Mhm.
because if they know anything about us or where we come from, they know them your day ones, you know what I'm saying? So did you have any pushback about building your staff when you first got the job? You know, 23, you know, they might have, I don't know how that process goes, you know, but I
Yeah.
know we don't see coaches that young, you know. So did they try to, gear your staff for, a certain type of way, or did you have full reign with that? Like that was something you wanted to do right out the gate, like you knew that.
For sure. So I had that going into the interview process. Actually, I kind of talked to Shad and Dev beforehand, made sure they was on board. Dev was actually at GW as assistant coach, and Shad did a student assistant coaching at Tech 1 year after he graduated. Excuse me. And then obviously JD, I mean, that's just JD. So I once I got past the first interview, um, and got into that second one, I had a packet made up and I had philosophies, team rules, here's some plays, here's some defensive stuff, here's what I would like to do. And then I had a page with coaches and I had their picture and I had a short bio with all of them. And that packet helped me get the job because it showed how organized I was. And I had those assistant coaches ready to go. Like, you're not just hiring me. That's how I was trying to sell. Like, you're not just hiring me. Yeah, I can do this, this, and this. But I also have Rashad Kincaid. I also have Devin Harris, who just won a state championship at GW. Rashad Kincaid, Coach Williams was already speaking highly of Rashad Kincaid. And then you had JD is that brought in that older presence, right? Because we can't just have a bunch of 23-year-olds runner. So they were like, okay, he does have an older guy in here and it just, I mean, it worked out perfectly. I actually had Paul Williamson on there from Logan. That was another guy that I talked about. I put his picture with the WVU. He played in that WVU jersey for a season. So I was thinking, hey, that's going to help. That's going to try to help some. But Paul didn't, we didn't follow through with that. But I mean, those guys, like you said, those are day ones. But they're also like, I respect their basketball opinion, like very, very much. So it wasn't like, oh, he's just bringing his friends on. Like, no, these dudes can coach. Like these are my guys. Like in this basketball world, like I can't just coach with anybody. I really gotta trust. And it works better like that. Like the players aren't dumb. They see that. They see how we respect each other. And so like if JD, Rashad, and Dev would come to me and like, hey, no, we need to do this, I'm rolling with it like 9 times out of 10. So yeah, I kind of already had that going into it. And luckily the school was cool with it and bought into all of us.
I have like a twofold question. You talk about kind of y'all's camaraderie and your foundation, which is big because sometimes it's hard to work with your friends, you
Mhm.
know, especially when you have a goal and sometimes visions may not align. So, can you just kind of double down on that? And then, secondly, how do you all align on whatever your biggest goal is? I'm sure it's to get guys to college, or you can answer that question. What is your number one goal?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's gonna be winning, you know, but long term line.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, our long term or our goal is to teach life lessons through the game of basketball. It's really not about winning, to be honest with you. But I mean, everybody knows we're here to win games. And I think if you win, it makes it easier to teach the life lessons. And I'm not saying you got to win a state championship every year, but you have to have a winning culture. Like if we're losing record, losing record, losing record, you're gonna lose people and you're not gonna get to teach them those life lessons. Um, we're big on that because not all of our guys are going to play college basketball. So if they have the opportunity, yeah, we're going to try to get them there, and we're going to try to develop them, and hopefully we can find a good school for them or just help them any way we can in the recruiting process. So we do want guys to play at the next level, but man, this is high school. Like we're trying to teach guys like our first year, some of these guys are about to graduate college now, and that's getting kind of crazy to see. Like they're getting older. I'm hoping that them going into that interview process for a job or whatever they're doing, they're thinking of the discipline, the details of what we did back at practice or whatnot. We just hope that we're having a positive impact on them. Um, Working with your friends, I think that's 100% correct. Sometimes it can be difficult. But I think me, Shad, and Dev, I'm always talking. Like I just never shut up. And then they're somewhat quiet, and then they'll pitch in ideas and stuff at the end of practice and during practice too. But it just has a good balance. Like we're not all three trying to talk at the same time. Um, the way I explain it too is I kind of see the 5-on-5, maybe the overall scheme, but Rashad and Dev are like the player development guys. They're the one-on-one guys. They're the at halftime, hey Jay, this guy's guarding you this way. Look at going into this move, doing this, and then they just break that down individually, if that makes sense. And I'm kind of look at the 5-on-5, like, hey, we need to run this set. We do this. Let's. So that's kind of how we break it down. Um, know your role and be great at it. It's something we tell the guys all the time. It's something that we just try to stick to as coaches too. So um, it's worked well. It can be difficult though to work with your friends sometimes, but we're all just trying to get the right goal. We're trying to help these guys grow, and we're trying to put as many banners up as possible.
Man, for sure. Congratulations. We would be remiss if we didn't mention this, but I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to congratulate you on the show on winning your first state championship, doing it within your first 5 years of coaching. I mean, that's just a blessing, to achieve that success so soon. We were just talking about, one of our legendary coaches, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to get one during his tenure. So explain to us personally how that was for you, winning your first state title, doing it. We're not from Charleston. I know we're from South
Yeah.
Charleston, but still, it's still your hometown because we're from the south side of
Hmm.
Charleston, right? You did it with your day ones. We've brought them up here quite a bit, brought them up on here quite a bit. Shout out to Dev and Rashad. Always thought Shad and Dev was super smooth, super athletic. They both played soccer and basketball as well. So it's crazy, like, how y'all stories are very
Hmm.
similar.
Yeah.
So just enlighten us on what that experience for you was, Coach.
Well, to start, I think we would have won it my first year if it wasn't for COVID. So our first season, when we were 23 and 24, we were 19-5. We were a 2 seed going into state tournament, and then COVID hit, and they canceled the tournament. So I was just constantly, and I said this in the post game after we won, like gave credit to that first year team of like how they bought into young coaches and how crazy that would have been. First year, 23 or 24, we would have won. That would have been crazy. But to win it this year with this group was this senior class was our first class that we saw from freshmen all the way to seniors. So this was our first full group, and that meant a lot to us. We saw these kids grow up. we watch them in 8th grade, you know, you're saying, oh, we're going to have this, you're going to have this. So we had a special senior group. Got really lucky, man. We had a player, and Jay Allen Turner is the all-time leading scorer, all Kanawha Valley Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, back-to-back. Just to give him some credit. You know, a lot of times your best player, sometimes your top scorer, I don't know if you see it all the time that they're the top scorer and your best defender. So he did a lot for us. He was really locking people down and getting 20 a game. But winning that state championship, man, that was something I dreamed of for sure. You know, I didn't get one in high school, had a little success in college and soccer, but man, it's a crazy feeling. It was a high for like a week. Like it was a high that it just I couldn't really explain. But what comes up must come down, and now it's like we're getting back to that point where it's like, all right, it's back to work. Like we gotta figure out how can we do this again. Like I said, I'm already looking at videos of zone defenses and stuff for next year. So about 2.5 months out now. So the feeling is kind of weird. Like it doesn't feel real sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I should feel satisfied or a little more happy maybe, but it's like back to the grind almost. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe that's just me. Maybe because I don't like to settle too much. But I know in the back, like I have that in the back of my bag that if somebody wants to say something, I got a ring, man. I got one. So that's a great feeling. I got one. But now I got to just try to figure out how do we go back to back.
Yep.
That's life though. As you
That is.
continue to grow, you want to continue to elevate. You gotta put it in. You got, like you say, you gotta put it in your back pocket. Kind of put it in a rearview mirror.
Yep.
Like you said,
I got one. I gotta ask. Sorry, Dree, because this is probably my last question for you, Hunter. I got one more after, but I'm sure they're gonna ask it. So this is probably my last one. Shout out to Honore, you know, because Honore dropped some footage on Facebook,
Yep.
you know, recently. When did the kids figure out Shad was, you know, cut like that, you know, and how long have you been having him like destroy the team like that, bro? That was some of the best entertainment I ever got to see. I'm like, bro, they have no clue. Like,
no,
nobody could take the ball.
They
nobody.
know. They just knew that they couldn't do nothing. Like they know.
The best video I've seen, bro, for real this year.
He really had his own highlight, like his own highlight film, and that was like one practice. Practice wasn't going the way we wanted to go that day, and Shad just hopped in. Bro didn't stretch. He didn't take no warm-up shots. He did not like the intensity of practice, and bro was diving on the floor for a loose ball. He was hooping. He was hitting step backs. It's fun, man. It's fun that we're still able to do that. We don't do that. Now, when we first started, we played a lot more with the guys, but now we don't do it as much. But yeah, I think they know like Shad and Dev is like skilled wise, like is kind of crazy tough. They'll still hate on me, you know, because I'm the goofy redhead, but you know, I think they know Shad was nice, but that day I think woke some of the young kids up. If anybody was the young ones, like I think the juniors and seniors, they already knew, but the young kids was like, oh my goodness, like this guy's I don't think he missed.
He was killing them in the highlights.
He was.
That was hilarious.
Shout out Ano, man. We tried to, and I wish he could have kept doing more of that. That was another thing that we were trying to, you know, be one of the first to have a guy come in and like make videos like that on a constant basis and get some behind the scenes stuff, because we're just trying to evolve. Like if you think about it, that's today's age, right? So all the videos, like that's what guys want to see, people want to see. We try to run our own social medias and have a basketball Instagram page and do all that stuff. So shout out to Ano, man. That was fun. Fun to have him in the gym too, because you know we grew up playing with him too.
Yep. Ano, man. Yeah, shout out to Ano. He one of the funniest people ever.
Ano money, first name, last name.
Yeah. Ano is hilarious.
That's the funniest guy alive.
His family is funny though. His pops and his brother is funny, so I give it to him. He got it honest.
You can go ahead, Kay. You can. Um,
Let me ask my questions I got. So
yeah. I do have. At the end, I'll kind of, wrap up. But I'm done.
for sure. Now that you reestablished the championship pedigree up here at Charleston Catholic, I know the standard has been set, but you've reestablished it. How do you what is your plan to continue to have sustained success? Like, how do you remain persistent and consistent?
I mean, really, just got to be consistent in our work. But it's going to be up to the players a lot of times. It doesn't. I think I've said this before. I think a head coach gets a lot of credit when they win, and I think they get a lot of the flack when they lose, and that's just a part of the job. So
Yep.
I don't really think I did anything too special this year. I think we just had a special group of players. So I think the players, they're gonna have to come together. They're gonna have to work on their games in the off season. But to be able to just keep winning, we're just gonna have to do the little things at a high level. We have a decent freshman group coming in, and we've got two all-state guys coming back, two starters back from a state championship team. So we got some roles to fit in there, and we got some pieces that are gonna have to step up. But my role is just the same, man. Just make sure they're working, and I mean, I think everybody got that feeling of winning, and they see that it's fun. So let's keep it rolling.
No, for sure. And then my last question for you, Coach, is and you can answer this however you want to. We're not a controversial platform, but I did want to pose this question to you, because you are young. You are super young. We're all young, though, but what is your ultimate goal of coaching? Right?
Yeah.
Like, not, I know you focus on life development and skill development, but what is your ultimate goal of coaching? Again, you can answer that however you want to. If you want to be here coaching for the next 40 years,
Yeah.
but what is your ultimate goal of coaching?
So I think it was around my first or second year here. I kind of said to some people close to me and to myself that I was fine with being at Charleston Catholic and just being a high school coach the rest of my life. I'm trying to be the all-time winningest head coach. Think about it. If I started at 23, if you just coach a long time, you don't got to be that good. You just got to coach a long time, right? You're going to get some wins. So that's what I was thinking about. Man, if I coach for a long time, I could really rack up and try to be the all-time winningest head coach. So as years gone on, I've seen I've had interest in coaching in college. I think I don't smile a lot as a person. I think when I smile, people realize that. They see there's not a lot of things that interest me or make me really happy, and basketball does. So the way I think of it is if I'm coaching basketball full time, that's all I'm doing. I think it would make me really happy. I think I would enjoy my life. So I would love to coach in college, but it is what it'll come if it comes.
Yep.
If it happens, it happens. I'm also completely fine with staying here at Charleston Catholic, being a high school coach for as long as they'll allow me to coach, So I think I think you got to have goals, but you just got to take it one day at a time, right? If you do what you're supposed to do, and like Drew was saying earlier, that's life a little bit. You got to win, put it in your back pocket, keep going. So it's the same way right now. I'm just keep grinding. If the right opportunity comes and a college for some reason wants me to coach, then I'll listen to it. But I'm also still young, so I'm gonna just keep learning, keep being a sponge, trying to be the best Hunter Moles I can be, and that's really all I can do. So
Climb that ladder, bro.
Yep.
If it happens for you, man, climb that ladder.
Yep, no doubt.
Don't forget about me if you do become the head coach of the Lakers. That's our squad. So
Front row seats, baby.
Facts. Well, kind of like I said earlier, just to kind of wrap up, I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't really know you personally. Like
Mhm.
I'm sure I saw you around. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate you, learned a lot about you, gained a ton of respect for you, just from this short 30, 45-minute interview. We talk about a lot of things that, like you said, it's not about the game of basketball, but basketball does translate to life. So
Mhm.
a lot of people don't get that, and you don't see that often nowadays, just because I feel like a lot of people are in it for themselves outside of, it's not about the kids, it's not
Yeah,
about growth, it's about how many wins can I get,
for sure.
how many likes can I get on social media. So I just want to say I appreciate you, for being a stand-up guy, and taking it serious
Mhm.
and helping out the youth and the culture, because it could have been easy for you to go anywhere else, but you stayed home, and you doing your thing. So again, appreciate you, and congratulations and good luck to you.
I
In the
appreciate that. Thank you, man. I appreciate all that for real. That means a lot. Like I said earlier, I'm big time now. I'm on the pod, so I appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Appreciate you coming on, Hunter, man.
Yep. Shout out Leak, man. Shout out Kels. Hey, that boy Kels,
Kels was nice,
That
man.
boy Kels was nice. Kels and
Kels was
Shaw in
nice.
backcourt. I think it
Yeah.
was my 8th grade year, man. That
I
was
was
a tough
talking to Kels
backcourt.
this morning, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wish Kels would have hooped in high school for sure. We always have conversations at different times about that. But you know how I feel about you, coach. We don't have to get too deep about it. I love you, boy. You know what I'm saying? We've definitely grown close over the years. We used to, man, back during COVID, he would catch me in the front of the rec center and we'd be
Yeah.
rapping for like 30, 40 minutes before I even started my workout. So that's really where the conversations initially started
Mhm.
about us interviewing him. I'm like, man, we gotta get you on the pod. Just the conversations are flowing. I love how smart he is, his outlook on things. I love the leader that he is, the man that he is personally, just a great guy all around. So, to our listeners, to our viewers, to the kids watching us under him, playing for him, y'all really genuinely play for a great guy, someone that truly cares about, you being a better person. So salute to you. I appreciate you. I love you. To our listeners out there, please continue to like, subscribe, share, and view the content, man. We'll definitely be dropping this for y'all. So, again, Coach, appreciate you. State champion coach right here. Back to back Kanawha Valley Coach of the Year, Hunter Moles. And this your boy K. I'm with Leak the God and Drizzy. And we out, man. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Peace.